connect, solve painful problems, raise amazing adults, and have healthy families. Welcome to the Sean Donahue Show. Jordan and I do this podcast because we want your family to be close and connected. And we want you to feel empowered and equipped in your most important job, the most important job in the world. Let's go deeper than this podcast. Head to my website, parentingmodernteens.com, and get my email straight to your inbox. And when you're ready to go deep and get serious coaching from me, join me in my VIP membership. Parents are teachers and every home is a school. So teach well, love well. All right, let's have some fun together. What is up, my fellow parents? Welcome to the Sean Donahue Show. Jordan and I are here, and we got part 4 coming at you. Part 4. Hey, I've been listening to your sons and daughters for 25 years. They've been telling me their secrets. They've been telling me what they think about you, their parents, what they like, what they don't like. And here we are in part 4. I'm going to share with you some things that I think are going to be very helpful, life-changing for you to know your kids' hearts. Kids can be lousy communicators, but think of me just like a translator, a megaphone. I want you to know your kid in a very deep way. And today we're going to have some fun. You ready for this, Jordan?
Dude, kids can be lousy communicators. Adults can be lousy communicators. We've got a lot to learn too. What's so great about this, I love that we're doing a part 4, but what's so great is you could go back and listen to any single one of these at any stage of life that you're in, or like, let's say you've already listened to the top 3, you could go back and let's say 2 years and you'll learn new things that you maybe didn't caught at that time because you're now at that next stage. And so it's really cool to see these different stages and how things click at different times.
That's cool. Yeah. And I hope you enjoyed part 1, 2, and 3. You guys told me you did by the amount of views that it's listened. And I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for making us one of the top 10 or so parenting podcasts in the world, and really the top rated male. You know, we're the top rated men like that on there because there's a bunch of super smart, amazing women. And so today, here's a little comical entry for today. Today, we're going to be talking about power a lot. Power from a parent's point of view. But Jordan, I want to talk about power in a different point of view. Ready for this, Jordan? I'm on day 3 of a power outage in my house, man.
You must be in California. Yeah, you guys have been getting crushed.
I am.
Big rain.
Yeah, we're getting
mudslides. Oh.
Yeah, we're with a professional weatherman right now, Jordan Steele. So, Jordan, you're probably one of the only people who actually know what an atmospheric river is. We just learned about that now in California because we had one last year, and now we're having one this year. What is an atmospheric river?
Yeah, we'll get into this. You know, it's funny. You guys have had atmospheric rivers forever, but we just have started to use that. That's probably going to be it was either the 2023 or the 2024 word of the year because we are now using it in everyday lingo. But no, it's like literally a river in the sky. We used, sometimes we call it the Pineapple Express, where you take tropical moisture and you bring it up and you pump it in either Washington, Oregon, or California. And now you guys are the target, and you've been getting, like I think LA saw their they saw half of their year's rain in 2 days.
Wow!
So their yearly average of rain is 14 inches. They got 7 inches in 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's I love footage. I love footage of storms and
dude, on your Instagram or TikTok, you just showed like some roof that was pulled apart or something.
Yeah, you should check it out on Instagram. And it's like this, it's crazy. It looked like a sci-fi monster. All the roof started coming off and so I'm sitting here, everybody. I'm so dedicated to this podcast. I'm sitting in my truck right now filming this podcast. I'm in my Toyota Tundra truck, and one of the highlights of this is that my new truck, it has heat warmers, so my tush is cush right now. I am good, man. This should be your go-to office. This is a nice little office. I might. So we're gonna put this on YouTube so you can see how it's a little bit blurry, but I got my fancy mic, and so we're here because I love this podcast. I love your families, and I want you to use power wisely in your parenting. Good. So, Jordan, this is a tough one because a lot of our parents, they did not use their power very wisely. Parents are so powerful.
The hard part too is like, if we were to ask ourselves right now, am I using my power wisely? That's not like an answer that we could get right away. That's almost like, well, we'll see. Give it 10 to 20 years and let's see how they turn out,
Yeah, that's right. That would be the most common thing people would say because, parenting is never about what it's about. And one thing it is often about, it's about power. It's about using power wisely or poorly, and it's about sharing power,
right?
Especially as our kids get older. Isn't that interesting? People never talk about that. So I want to talk about stuff people never talk about. So when you hear these terms right here, Jordan, what do you think of when you hear these three words put together? Anger, punishment, control. What do you think of?
Ooh, you ready for this? I think of Miss Trunchbull from Matilda. The angry,
I don't know.
The angry principal who was all about control and would always punish the kids and send them into the chokey.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Matilda, I got a little visual, but yeah, ask yourself, everybody, when you hear those terms together, who do you think of? Maybe you think of a fictional character like from Matilda or someone from Star Wars or anything else come to mind. That was good.
I want to ask you,
anger. I
think of like the stern dad in movies, right? Where it's like, let's say you're out at work all day and you come home and you don't smile and it's all about get your chores done. And, there's not a lot of love sharing going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you act up, you're going to get slapped across the face and that control. But my real philosophical question is, where does this power come from? And why do we think that we own it?
I don't know the answer to that, but I think that's a good question. Where does this power? Well, I think let's start rapping about that, because I think I'm going to tell you some things your kids want you to know, which is, I think, really going to be helpful. But I mean, I think it's part of my guess, just without thinking too much about it, is, these babies, they came out of our bodies, or we put them in someone's body, and we're scared. We want to be good parents. We want to protect them from evil. We want to feed them right. We want to teach them right. And we know that if we do not use our power here to protect, to teach, that's not good. And so we want to raise great kids, and we use our power to make that happen. And that's the thing. Some parents, this is really, really deep. Ask yourself this, make this a question. Some parents, they don't use their power enough, right? Especially in 2024, right?
Yeah.
They don't use their power enough. They're letting their kid be the powerful one. And some parents are the other extent in that extreme. They use too much power.
Or what kind of power is there, right? You've got, let's say, strength or physical power, where you could physically say, hey, you're going to be locked in this room, or I'm going to give you a spanking but I'm using that physical power. You probably have some kind of like verbal power, right? Abuse verbally. You can use your language to be power over someone. Manipulation could probably be a way of being powerful. There's all these different ways, and a lot of them are unhealthy. But what you're saying is there's healthy power, and there's healthy power that needs to be shared.
We're going to get to that. When we get to the Ask Family Coach, I'm going to give you some great tools, some actual specific tools, because here's something our kids want us to know. When you use power in our relationship and you don't take the time to effectively tell me why you are using power, or you use your power poorly, you make me not want to be close to you.
Okay, no, that was really good. I had to think about that a second. The first part you said was mind-blowing. Okay. Using your power and not telling your kids why you're using your power. That's what you said, something like that, right? Yeah.
That's what our kids want us to know. Yeah.
They want us to know that, like, if we are going to use our power, right? I just had this conversation with one of my kids the other day. We were talking about sleepovers, and this is a very hot topic, right? And it's
it's on our list. You put it on our list of podcast episodes, and I've been thinking about that. Please continue.
But like, we're getting to the age 8, 9, 10, 11. I used to have so many sleepovers as a kid, and nowadays
it's the best.
It's the best. And I want it to be the best, but it can be tough when you don't know the other family, don't know their backstory. Yeah. What are their beliefs? What do they teach? What are they allowing? Now with phones and technology, everything is so easily typed into the fingertips. It's like, what are my kids going to be prone to? And so like when my daughter asks all the time, we have to tell her why we're saying no. Listen, this is why, and we're having to unveil this curtain of the world that she's never seen and been a part of before. Yeah. So she gets the full picture.
Here's the antonym of that. If Jordan, what you did is what we're hyping here, like properly sitting down with our kids, even age 4 and up, like explaining to them why we are making this decision, why we're saying no, why we're saying yes. Why are things the other way they are? That's a proper use of power, good communication. timeliness, patience, and communication. But here, how about this? Let's put our heads together of things where are the opposite of that. How about this? Because I said so. Because I said so. That's why. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Hey, you say this one more time. One more time. You ask me one more time. Right? So what else comes up for you when you hear that? See, that's parents using their power to shut a child down. That's a parents using their power to set a boundary, but kind of in a harsh way. Or how about here? Let's go threats. You say, hey, you just one more time.
Right.
You're getting a spanking. One more time. You're going to your room. You're going to lose it for a year. You're going to use it for a year. Right. See how we're using power now to get control, to take the power back from a child because we don't like feeling powerless.
Are these examples coming from real life situations? You're mimicking real life people.
Reasons, yeah, I think people think I'm like a good actor, but the reason why I think maybe I'm good at acting, but I feel this in my heart. I don't actually let this stupid stuff come out of my mouth sometimes, but I feel it. I got to hold back.
What? I'm going to say something because I've been guilty of using those terms sometimes. And I think I eventually go to that when my kids ask me for the 100th time, why? Yeah. Like, why not? Well, can I have the computer? Yeah. No. Well, why? Well, because of this. Well, please, no. Well, why? Well, I just told you because of this. Well, please, I'll do. No. Why? And I'm like, you know what? Because I said so. Yeah. And I'm like, get out of my face.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're feeling powerless. You're feeling disrespected. You're feeling, here's a word that we feel as parents a lot, but no one ever talks about it. You ready for this?
Yeah.
In that moment, I don't want to speak for you, but you probably felt violated.
Violated. I don't know if we could go that deep. I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, let me try to convince you.
No, you're probably
this is
right.
Like you're the freaking dad. This is your space. You came home from a hard day at work talking about atmospheric rivers and being fancy on TV. And oh my gosh, hold on. My phone just fell down the side of my truck.
Oh, I hate that. That's the worst. That is the worst.
But now it has my notes. It has my notes for today's episode. So okay, there you go. I actually just got off Amazon and I just bought some of those like liners to lock it up.
Yeah, my wife has them in her. It's terrible.
Yeah. No, my wife has them in her Highlander, and it's like, dude, you convinced me, Danielle. These are good. They're like $4 or something.
Yeah, I should get those because I have to pull over, get out of my car. I got to go through the back seat, put my hand underneath just to grab that dang thing.
Right. And especially men, we have larger hands than women. Yeah, so it's down there. It's like, or how about like if a gummy bear falls down there? Oh dude, they are just screwed. Then it's melted. Okay.
So I was violated by the way they reacted.
You felt violated.
Sorry, I felt violated. That's
yeah, that's it. This is why we grab for power with yelling.
Yeah.
With anger, with threats, with punishments, because of what we feel inside. We feel scared. We feel violated. We feel
annoyed. Can I feel annoyed? I'm like, just stop annoying me. Just get out of my face.
You sure can. And then use your power to make yourself feel better. It's almost like power can be used like a drug, man. We just make ourselves feel better. Now, here's something. Let me do this. So I've shared this before in some of the previous episodes. This podcast is coming because I used to teach a class in person, and I still do occasionally, like their keynote speaking, or if I'm at a school or a business speaking. It's called "What Kids Wish Their Parents Wish Their Parents Knew," and right. I'll pick like 7 or 10 things.
Yeah.
And when I get to this section, I have a little activity that I do, and I'm putting you on the spot, and I want to do it with you right now. Okay, so you have to use your imagination.
All right.
And if you're listening to this, I want you to use your imagination. What I'll do is I'll say, hey, I need a volunteer to come up front. And you're going to help me with this little activity. But before you raise your hand and volunteer, I have a specific person in mind that I need. I want someone to come up who's a really sweet, gentle person. You have a sweet spirit. You don't like conflict. And, harsh yelling is hard for you. You don't like it. And if that's you, then come up and I want you to please join me because I want to help. You're going to help me help everyone. Okay, so you imagine, who do you think would come up then? Imagine, what type of visual of a person coming up forward? Who do you got?
You've got the quiet, let's say, nerdy type, right? Like I call myself a nerd, so I say that. Like someone who is really big into their studies. They're not big into the social crowd. If someone says something to them, they're not going to stand up to them. They're just going to be whatever, and they're going to kind of move on. They want to get rid of the conflict.
Yep. So I'm 6'2", man, and I work out with weights quite a bit. And normally, who comes up is like a 5'6" woman. And she's sweet and she's got a smile, and I greet her with a nice little side hug. I have everyone, clap, round of applause, and then we do this. All right. So let's just do it together. All right. So pretend that you are this woman.
Okay.
And respond to me. Okay. Okay. So you're going to pretend to be a child. You're a child. You ready?
Okay.
Let's put you on the spot. That's how it works.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, what are you doing? Get off the phone. Get off that screen.
Okay, so I'm a timid child. Like, okay, why?
Hurry up! You know what? I don't want to tell you why. Get off it.
Okay, fine. I'm off. Jeez.
Hey, don't take that tone with me. Do not take that tone with me.
Okay,
come over here right now. I'm sick of this. You're not sorry. You say this all the time. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. Oh, here we go. You make excuses. I've already asked you 2 times, and there's a wet towel on the ground. There's dog poop outside. And you know what? I'm sick of this. You need to start listening. You're so disrespectful sometime.
Okay, sorry.
No back talk. Just give me that screen and go do some homework. Get out of here.
Yes, sir. Meanwhile, I'll go and do it.
Okay, take a breath. Take a breath. All right. I put my arm around this woman. I say, how you feeling right now? What do you think she says?
Scared?
Now, we're doing this.
She'd be like, I'm scared of you.
Why are you scared?
Because you're bigger than me. You just yelled at me. You barfed all over me with word vomit. I mean, I couldn't even get a word in without you attacking me all the time for every little thing I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel powerful right now?
No.
Do you feel loved?
Absolutely not.
Do you feel respected?
No way.
Okay. If I were to ask you this question, how would you respond? Ready for the question?
Yeah.
Hey, how was your day at school today?
I'd probably look down and say fine and go straight to my room.
Why?
Because I don't want to talk about it.
Why not?
Because it was awkward and it was degrading, and I don't want to get into why that person acted like that, because I don't know why that person acted like that, and I just don't want to talk about it. Just want to pretend it didn't happen. Close? Tomorrow's a new day.
Do you want to be right? Do you want to be close with me right now?
No.
Right. If I would share with you, hey, I'm feeling kind of sad and hurt, would you want to care or comfort me right now?
No.
So, right, Jordan, let's take a break. Have a round of applause, everybody. Then I ask the audience, what just happened here? So let's do it. You tell me. Let's say you observe this in person.
If I'm
what
observing
happened
this,
here?
I'm looking at someone who something's going on mentally with them, but they are taking it out on this child for no apparent reason to the audience, but maybe they have their own reasons as to, why they need their phone back, why she needed to get off their phone, why he was so worried about her cleaning up the dog poop at that exact moment.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well said. Anything else come to mind?
That would not be
It'd be awkward. It would have been awkward to watch. It's watching this is like a dark drama. You want to turn away. Like, here I am yelling at a grown woman in front of everybody. My face is so intense. I'm scary. You know what I mean? It's like, you wouldn't want to watch that.
No.
So here's why I do this, everybody, because this is a fraction of what our children feel when we abuse power. When we yell at them, we are bigger, we are stronger, we have unlimited power, and they don't feel good. What do you think about that? All the things that mother felt, that's what our kids feel when we abuse power. The difference is that this woman has the ability to articulate it, and our kids do not. That's deep, man.
That's
deep. And our kids want us to know.
I'm sure the kids don't even understand the why, because we don't tell them. They just don't want to make us mad, so they just go into their shell.
Well, yeah, because at this point, a kid, is going to do fight, flight, or freeze, essentially. And you're acting, you chose flight. Let me just go to my room and get out of there, right? That's what I did with my mother growing up. I tried 2 years of fighting and it didn't work.
Yeah, what's the point?
So our kids want us. Point, you can't win.
Right.
If a child feels like they can win or feel powerful, then they're going to fight back, and then they're going to have to subconsciously see, is this a good coping mechanism with my parents' power? Most of the time, what it'll lead to, if you have that type of power, or yelling, or aggression, I think most of the time, if you're rolling the dice, it's going to lead to hiding or lying. Don't you think?
Yeah, they don't want to deal with the consequences. They don't want to deal with being yelled at anymore. So they do everything they can in their power just to keep their distance, build up a wall, and continue living their own life. The less their parents know, the better. And I hope this is really helpful for those of you that struggle with abusing power or irrational power, or snapping at your kids, yelling, threatening, because I hope it fuels you to really put these patterns behind you. You've become great episodes on this podcast we can offer you. Plus, I help my clients in one-on-one sessions or my VIP membership with this all the time, because here's what our kids want us to know, Jordan. When you abuse power in our relationship and you don't take the time to effectively tell me why you're using power, or you use your power poorly, you make me not want to be close to you. What do you think about that? I want to bring up a scenario I have here. Now, this age range that you're talking about could probably be anyone from, a child that can reason, right? So you're talking late single digits to the teenage years to early adulthood. Yeah. But on the opposite side of that, of how I feel some people are not using their power enough in today's society, and maybe they're giving their kids too much power, and now the kids might be walking all over them. So is there a way we need to almost slap ourselves in the face and be like, yo, stand your ground, pull up your pants. Like, what are you doing? You're trying this soft approach so much that it's not working. Oh, really wise, dude. Yeah, that's for a different episode. We should make an episode for parents that are afraid of their children or afraid of power, because that is so many parents nowadays. And they're afraid of traumatizing their kids. They're afraid of hurting their kid. Oh, my kid already has anxiety. My kid's got depression. Excuses. My kid's been bullied. And so, we need a whole nother episode for those parents, right? How to use power, like how to regain power, right? How to get your cojones back in a way. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Yeah. Well said, man. Yeah. I mean, what would be the title of that? How to become a powerful parent who your kids respect. That would be the title of that. We need to add that to the list. Because maybe we'll do that part two. Maybe we'll do that next week. Yeah. There's just this balance of we're going to the extreme. You and I talking about this figure of yelling and screaming, and there are a lot of people like that. And I feel like if you were to jump back in time 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you'd see a lot more of that. And it still happens. Yeah. But then you fast forward to now, and it's like a pendulum, like you talk about, and it's swinging the other way to where it's like so soft. And so what we're learning on these podcasts, which is so great, is like this constant balance of who we have to be. And the common denominator that I'm finding is communication. I mean, the reason why we have come the animal kingdom is because we have the power to communicate and reason, but yet we still don't know how to do it properly. We don't, because we never learned how to communicate, how to talk, how to open up, how to share power. Please continue. Well, as I see this, and we've tried it a lot at our house. My wife is so good about it, and I would say those feminine type people out there, right? The wives, the mothers, they have this ability to communicate and use their emotions so much better than guys or the masculine people in the relationship for whatever reason that is. Really do. But I'm trying to learn. It's almost like I want to yell and grab and throw or whatever, use my physical dominance or just my voice. Yeah. And the reality is I need to take a step back. And I guess that's why it's so good to have this balance. For those of you that are a healthy married couple, that balance is so important. It's hard for those people who don't have that healthy balance to try to be that balance all themselves, because it's hard for us.
I have here little two cliches you can run through your mind because your voice is the most powerful voice in the world. So here's a couple things that would help you if you're struggling with power. Here's something. I'll go one. First one is this. And I say this in my own marriage. My wife and I talk about this sometimes. We talk about this in parenting. Here it goes. Nothing is ever won by force.
Unless you're on the movie Star Wars and let the force be with you.
Right. But in family life and parenting life, nothing's ever won by force.
Yeah. Right? Because it doesn't create a healthy relationship. Even if you think you've won by force, you really haven't.
Exactly. You haven't. You're not really winning. And how you define a win needs to be reevaluated. The second one I want to share, I just thought of a couple seconds ago. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Except when you have great heat warmers on your booty, nothing ever good happens when you get hot in your body. I just made that up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are ridiculous.
Do you have heat warmers in your cars on your butt?
Yeah,
on your back?
But I'm not a huge fan. Like I'll use them.
You aren't, dude. I just got these in our cars for the first time because we have in both of our cars. Dude, they are like mind blowing to me, man. You're not really into them?
No, they're fine. I put them on sometimes. I just, and then now they've got steering wheel warmers and everything's a warmer. I'm like, they've got jackets now you can wear with a little button that makes you warm. I'm like, what is happening to us? Like, I'm returning so soft, but yeah, they are nice. Your tush gets nice and cozy.
I want everyone, here's what you can do. For those of you listening to this podcast, I want you to go to my Instagram right now, and I want you to look at a picture that I just posted. Now, it's not posted right now, but by the time we air this podcast in 2 or 3 weeks, it will be posted. So here's what I want you to imagine, Jordan. I want you to imagine an 18-year-old blonde kid with like kind of like 7-inch long, bright blonde hair, and he's wearing I'm helping you visualize what everyone's looking at right now. Or if you're driving, or if you can't look at Instagram, you can visualize this.
And what is it? The Family Coach Instagram account? The Family Coach?
Yeah, the Family Coach. Or you can go to my TikTok too, or my Facebook as well. Under Facebook, it's called Parenting with Sean. And you're looking at a kid who's probably standing in the hallways of his dorm room, and he's wearing a V-neck white T-shirt. Are you ready? You got it? And he's holding a red Solo cup in his hand.
All right.
And on his T-shirt, he had handwritten this message. And the message reads this: I hate my birthday, I hate my parents, and I do drugs, in a Sharpie. That's on his white V-neck shirt. Here's the question. There's no right or wrong question. Ask yourself this question and give yourself an answer.
Oh, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay.
No, and I'll stand in a group of parents. I'll show them this picture, and I say, why is this kid wearing this T-shirt? Why did he make it? And I'm asking you, Jordan, why is this kid wearing this handmade T-shirt in his dorm room, holding a red Solo cup? What's the real reason? The answer to this will hopefully change your life and change your parenting, everybody. So do not tune away.
I immediately go to attention, right? Conversation starter. Oh, your life sucks. Mine does too. How bad's your parents? Blah, blah, blah.
Ooh, I love it. No, that's really good, by the way. That is a key thing that's even happening online is our kids are finding other dysfunctional kids through dysfunctional apps like Discord.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
They find dark kids terrible. And it helps them in their darkness. Yeah. They're like they can relate. Please continue. Great. That's not what I think. That's not the main reason I think, but I love what you said. Please go again.
Well, he obviously wrote that for a reason. Mm-hmm. And he took a picture of it and posted it for a reason. And I go to attention because you're looking for attention. I also think
you're right, but go deeper. What else?
It could be a way to fit in, like you were talking about. I also think that, he's pretty screwed up from his familyhood, and maybe him posting this will get back at his family in some way.
Okay, good. Go deeper on that. Why do you think he's screwed up? And why do I think he's screwed up? Revenge. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're generally trying to highlight the fact that you've got an unhealthy relationship. You do illegal substances when you know they're illegal and they're going to mess you up, but you're okay with that. You've come to some kind of emotion that says, no, I'm fine, but really you're not. Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm going back to like, he's seeking for help, even though he doesn't think he is. He thinks he's just being cool.
Yeah, that's good.
But
So
going
good.
deeper as to getting back at the family. I mean, I don't know. This is all assumption here. Do you know this person? Do you actually know?
No, I just found it online. No, I found this picture 10 years ago, and I've been showing parents this picture for 10 years as a teaching illustration and to get them thinking, because here's my 2 cents. Great contribution. I think this kid has been through a lot with his parents. He's 17, 18, and I think he's serious. I don't think he's joking when he says, I hate my birthday, I hate my parents, and I do drugs. I think he's serious.
Sure.
I think bad things happened to him when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody used power, really, really negatively against him. Because if it was in a different type of parent, like let's say a super avoidant parent, right, or people-pleasing parent, I don't think he'd wear this shirt.
Right.
I think he'd maybe write a shirt that says, my parents were never there for me. Or I've never really had parents.
Right.
Yeah, I don't respect him, but I don't think he would say, I hate my birthday, I hate my parents, and I do drugs. I think this kid has been abused by power. And that doesn't mean he was abused, sexually abused. It doesn't mean he was verbally abused. I don't think he was physically abused. I think this kid was raised by parents who abused their power. And that could have manifested itself in a lot of different ways. And here's my theory. I think he's effing pissed. And I think he's angry and he's rageful. And I think he's so sick of feeling powerless around these parents. Now he's sending a message to the world. I'm angry, I'm pissed, and I am effing powerful. Do not mess with me. And I want everyone to know how angry I am. And I'm powerful. No one can mess with me now. And I can be who I want to be. That's my theory.
Right. That's a good theory.
But do you think I'm being weird? Do you think I'm onto something?
I think you're onto something. I just, this could get more onto a spiritual level, but like when I run into people with that kind of mentality, I'm like, what did you think this life was supposed to be? It's not like we were born and here's guidelines. You're supposed to have a loving family. You're going to have brothers and sisters. Everyone's going to get along. They're going to say kind things to you in school. There's going to be no bullies. You can have sugar whenever you want. Like, it's like we come out thinking that it's supposed to be butterflies and fairy dust. But like, when in history has that ever happened in life? So like he had a tough life, and I only say this, I don't say this to children. I say this to people who are more like adults who have this mentality. Yeah. But it's like, it's how you look at it, man. There's no one's life is perfect. And like we all have had a tough go, and that's what this world is about. It's about navigating the toughness and trying to make it the best we can. That's my thought. But I think that comes with being humble, being grateful, maybe believing something more powerful than you. Right? Because now that this kid, let's say, has this mentality that you're talking about and is so angry and now he's powerful, what then, Hotshot? What's your plan?
Ooh, I want to respond to that. I love that. What then, Hotshot? What's your plan? Yeah, that's good, because that's what I would think. That's what a lot of parents would think if they cross this kid, if they walk past this kid at the mall or at Disneyland, you'd be like, what the hell is with that kid? That kid thinks he's the jam, right?
Yeah.
Like, what now, Hotshot? What are you doing? That's what you could see when you look at this kid. When you look at a kid or a teenager and you see the way they're wearing their pants low or they got so much makeup on, that's what we think as parents. What the hell is with that kid? So disrespectful. That's what we think. That's what we think.
Well, I feel bad too, because ultimately they're going to come face to face with probably a terrible crossroads. And in some cases, it'll take the kid's life, right? If you're saying like, I'm so powerful, let me go out, you're never going to be more powerful than the world. They're going to be more, you're going to have to prove, you're going to continue to have to prove to who you're proving to be more powerful. Someone's always going to outpower you.
Oh, I've got some ask. Well, here's what I see. And if you're listening, I really want you to tune in, because I'm giving you some advice right now on how to view your children. I'm going to give you some specific things on what to say to your children, but here's how I want you to talk to yourself and how you view your children. And I'm going to share with you some tips by just telling you some personal stuff that come up for me right now in this moment. Can I go, Jordan?
Yeah, please.
I think I just realized something. I've been looking at this picture for 10 years, and I think I have a better understanding of this picture based on how you've just used your words. Because I really did not like or relate to most of what you've been saying over the last 5 minutes.
Okay. I know. I could tell.
But I love.
But I don't work with these people every day. You do. I judge.
No, but I love everything you said. I love everything you said. It's both. It's like a little Jekyll and Hyde for me. I relate to everything you just said. But here's what's going on in me. When I look at that kid, I see myself. That kid even looks like me a little bit when I was that age. I was a freaking pissed off kid. My anger started going down when I was like 17, 16, because I got my license. But that was me. I was so sick of feeling powerless around my mom. I was so angry, and I wanted to tell the effing world that I am powerful. I wanted to get away from her so I could be powerful. And I did weird, stupid stuff to send the message to the world and to myself that I was powerful. And people probably looked at me and said, what the hell is with this hot shot? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see myself. And so I think if next time you see a kid, a young person at the mall, or on TV, and they just want to show off, they're acting out, they're breaking the law. You know what I think we should do? Next time you look at your kid and he's acting out, doing something, here's what I want you to look at them. I want you to look at them and I want you to have this thought. How can I help this young person feel powerful in a healthy way? How can I help them experience power in a healthy way? How can I use my words, my love, my tone, so they feel powerful and find healthy ways of feeling powerful? Too much? Or do you like that?
No, I just don't know what those answers would be.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you, because is this young man trying to get attention in a healthy way? Is he trying to feel powerful in a healthy way? I don't think so. Do you? You don't think so either, right?
No, I mean, he just wanted a shirt. I mean, he could be trying to rob a bank or something silly that tries to send a message, and this is a better method of doing that. But I'm sure he's lost. He doesn't know how to portray his feelings, and this is just an easy way to do it.
Think about the 18 through 25-year-olds who break into people's homes to rob them. You ready? Think about this for a second.
Yeah.
Why would 3 or 4 18 through 24-year-olds break into a home to steal used electronics?
Yeah. Or anything for that matter.
Think about it. For anything. I'll tell you right now, it's not because of the money. It's not because of the money.
No.
It's because it feels so thrilling, so powerful to rob somebody and that is my theory of why they really break the law. Because it feels so good to go into a Target and just steal things. It's so fun to do it with your friends. Put it on Instagram, put it on a live stream. It feels so powerful. I think that is a big reason why we have youth crime and why your kid might be acting out, is because they found unhealthy ways of feeling thrilled and powerful. I think it makes sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense. But how do I go to that child who's doing that and give them power in that moment, or make them feel heard? Like, hey, I know you're doing this with power.
Right. Well, this is a parenting podcast. It's not a how to work in a local nonprofit or be a social worker or be a therapist podcast. All I know is that we can change the world through our parenting. So let's just focus on our kids, our nephews, our nieces, our neighbors. Focus on the kids that are in your circle. The kids you bring, you're their coach for their little league team, or you bring oranges, or they sleep over at your house. They come into your home. Those are the kids. That's how we can change the world. And that's pretty exciting if you ask me. Most people don't have a parenting podcast or Instagram channel. Like, this is it. We have so much power because we have influence of our kids and our kids' friends. That's exciting.
Right. That is exciting. And every stage of life is going to be different with how much power we give them. But you're saying loosen the leash, right? Like, let them branch out. Let them discover who they are in a healthy way.
Ooh, that's the second thing that I got prepared for us. Exactly what you just said. What kids wish their parents knew. Before I do, I want to tell you a couple stories. And then I'm going to ask you, do you have a story? Do you have a story of how your parents used their power poorly or wisely when you were growing up? Can I tell a couple of quick stories?
Yeah. Your childhood?
I might have shared this on my podcast before, but it's a very private story. And my mother has a lot of amazing positive choices she made as a parent. She's a lovely person. I love her. I honor her. But I do have a couple stories of how I did not feel good around my mom based on her own stories. And these are just my own private memories that I want to share. And maybe they happened, maybe they didn't. But for me, they seem like they were happened. My mother had a history of kind of getting in my face and intimidating me with her tone, with her words. I pretty much spent all of my 8th grade year, I think, grounded, because I would stand up for myself, and she would punish me. I would get grounded for a week, and then I would argue with her, and she'd say, you say one more word, and we're making another word. We're making it a week. And I said to her, word. Okay, that's another week. That's another week. Wait, okay, you want to go for more?
Oh,
you want to go for more?
Yeah.
And I said, I do. I do. Tack it up. Tack it up. Tack it up, Mom. Let's go. All right. And then she would call me names. I would call her names.
Well, see, this is self-induced.
I would yell back at her.
This is all self-induced.
It was power, man. I was so sick. I was an 8th grade dude. I was 5'11", and I was sick of feeling powerless. And I went tit for tat. And in the end, what I learned is I couldn't win.
Right.
I couldn't win. And then junior year hit, and something happened. I was now, 6'2", 180 pounds, pretty good basketball player, strong, worked out, had strong friends. And we were in our kitchen in San Diego, California, Rancho Bernardo. And she was coming at me, yelling, raising her voice. That didn't feel good. She got out of my face like she was going to hit me. She never hit me. She got in our faces like she would. I felt. And do you know what I did? You probably don't. Can I tell you what I did?
Yes.
I put my finger in my mom's face. And I don't know if I cussed or not. I stared her down. I got in her face. And I said something like this. I'm so done with this. I am so done. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Don't you ever talk to me like that again. I am done. Don't ever get in my face like this again. And if you do, well, I am going to let you know that this is over. I am a man. Don't you ever do this. We're done. And I'm pretty sure I scared her.
I mean, and you kind of did what you needed to do, or what you felt like you needed to do. She never did
that again. Yeah, she never did it again. She's done a lot of other shady stuff, but she's never tried to get in my face like that, like she was going to hit me. What do you think about that story, man?
Do you think thank you for sharing that. That's very emotional and deep and haunting memory, obviously, that you still carry today. But if you didn't stand your ground, as they say in Texas a lot, come and get it. We stand our ground. If you didn't stand your ground, that verbal beating on you would have continued for the rest of your high school. So obviously we come to the question of, did you stand your ground in a healthy or unhealthy way? But let's not get to that
that's the question.
Let's get to this first question. Are you glad you stood your ground so that she stopped?
Yes.
Right? That's what I would think.
Yeah.
From a one-sided story where we hear of, let's say, a mother.
One-sided story. Yeah.
One-sided story. Okay. From a mother using her power over all these years, however old you were a sophomore. So you were 14, 15, 16, however years old you were at that time. For all these years, she has been using her power, and you felt just super belittled to the fact that you get to a point where you could finally stand your ground. In that moment, you really had a rites of passage almost of like, I am finally able to stand up to you.
I did have a rites of passage. She did too. Yeah,
sure.
That's good.
I'm sure she did
helpful.
Also.
This is like therapeutic to just kind of go back in time. And it's so heavy. I don't know if it felt guilt over or shame or freedom or all of it.
I think what happened is you felt bad that you had to get to that level to smack her around verbally and say, wake up. I'm not your punching bag. Like, if you want to throw punches, well, I'll throw punches, but you're not doing this anymore, right? So you feel bad that you had to get to that position,
right?
Which no kid should have to do with their family, even though it happens.
Think about this, everybody. What are some unhealthy things you did to establish your power in life, to establish your power in your own home? Maybe you had an unhealthy dating relationship and you felt powerless. Maybe you felt abused by your own sibling, hurt, bullied. Maybe you just were so sick of feeling like you had to walk on eggshells around your own parents. And then you either exploded one day or you exploded for a year. Maybe it was 10 years. Maybe you're still exploding.
Right.
Or you snuck. Fight, flight, or freeze. For me, I mostly did not fight. I mostly avoided, right?
Mm-hmm.
I avoided her and I acted out. I did foolish things, dangerous things from healthy ways, like sports, like surfing or snowboarding. I didn't act out with alcohol, but you can see how many people would, right?
Oh, easily.
Or they act out with sexuality, drugs,
sure,
or anger, graffiti, mm-hmm. right? Like, think about that. Like, why do some men do graffiti? Like, I think they're trying to be powerful. It's not about artwork. It's about power. It's about being seen. I mean, and what would a young woman do? A young woman, she could easily use her own body, her own sexuality to gather power, to become a womanizer. OnlyFans is not only about making money, it's about feeling wanted. It's about feeling mm-hmm. powerful. Some girls become fighters. A lot of girls, they steal things, or even if they do is they gossip. They talk crap about other girls
to feel powerful.
They become bullies,
right?
Right? Some become great at performance, so they get straight A's. Right? You tell me, what else is coming for mind?
No, those are good.
Healthy ways or unhealthy ways you felt powerful as a young person in your 15 through 24-year-old phase. What were you doing?
I mean, well, I was hanging out with you, so thankfully you helped really focus that power into something positive. But I mean, I got into a phase where I was stealing. I would just be a little klepto. I would take things and
like what, candy or like.
Oh yeah, just dumb. Like it was like a thing you would do with your friends. Like, hey, I bet you can't get this. I'm like, yeah, I'll grab some gum.
Dude, I stole for like 2-3 years. So much stealing from me. What'd you steal? Gum? What'd you steal?
Yeah, like gum. There was like a little watch, at a convenience store, cheap thing that I stole. I went to Disneyland one time and stole a stuffed animal. Just like
thrilling,
just silly, dumb things, right? And it was just like looking back, it was like that. I don't know why I would need to feel like I needed power. I think I was more like I just wanted to fit in with some other friends and maybe feel powerful with them. And so they were doing this. So I was like, okay, I'll do it too. It's like I was never one to like do that, but I got into it. But I think one of the cool things I have, and I don't even know if this is a real memory or if I'm making this up in my mind, but my dad wasn't around all the time, right? So he lived in Las Vegas. We lived in San Diego, and, we would visit as often as we could. But as I got older, it was, I guess less and less just because I had football and I had activities and busy. But there were moments where he'd be like, you're growing up to become a man now. And he knew he didn't have as much power over me because he was a distant father. But he would constantly try to parent me in a very healthy way, which made me feel like I had my own power because I didn't have to ask him for permission. I was in charge of my own decisions because he wasn't there. And he's like, listen, I'm not there. So you got to be in charge of yours. So that would be something that would help me feel powerful when your parent says, hey, you're a grown woman now, or you're a woman, you're becoming a woman. Like you need to do this for yourself, and instilling that into our kids.
Yeah. Yep. Here's some really good insight I want to share with everyone listening. Great insight, Jordan. Here's a list of things that normal, healthy tween and teenagers do when they are reaching out to feel powerful. Okay, you ready for this list?
Mm-hmm.
I'm making this up in my head. They pick on their siblings.
Oh, yeah.
They cuss and swear. They act out in school. They stand on a brick wall by their house in Concord, California, and they throw rocks at the above ground subway, which is called BART. They throw rocks at it. They also stand up and they moon the BART train. So when the passengers are going by, they see my naked butt. Here's what else they do. They play with fire.
Okay. They play.
So this is all things that I did, by the way.
Me too. But what I'm saying is, how do you know this is not just part of growing up and it has to do with power? Of just us learning how.
I'm telling you right now, trust me, this is absolutely manifestations of power. If an adult came up to me and said, hey, Sean, like, you've been doing a lot of this stuff. You've been stealing. I'm just going to go on with the list. I would go into, I told this story before. I would go into the store called Mervyn's. Do you remember Mervyn's?
Oh, I remember Mervyn's. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Mervyn's. Mervyn's right next to JCPenney. I would take over $100 worth of jeans. I would walk up to the counter and I would say, I'm here to return this. And those people would give me straight up cash or store credit right there. And I would walk out of there.
No receipt? Oh, my
No receipt.
Gosh.
And I would like, dang, man, I'm like a good criminal. Other things I would do is I would go skinny dipping a few times with my buddies. We would
yeah, but that's just feeling exhilarating. That's not power, right? That's just like,
well, let's argue. Right. So if I think if an adult were to come up to me and said, look, Sean, because I got caught some of these times, right? Sure. In episode 1 of this entire podcast, I tell a horrible story about presence. It's called Presence. Go back and listen to that episode. I think it's one of the best things we've done. And that's tell a story about power and about me lighting a field on fire. And so I think if somebody were to come up to me and said, hey, Sean, like, I want to help you understand what's going on. You're acting out quite a bit, huh? He's like, yeah. It's like, why are you doing this? I don't know. Look, yeah, you do. What's the real reason? Well, I don't know. It's fun. That's true. You with me, Jordan?
Sure.
That's true.
Sure.
But yeah, it is fun. So you like throwing rocks at cars? Yeah. Lighting fires? Yeah. Yeah, pulling your pants down? Pulling your friends' pants down? Man, we're pantsing. I was pantsing everybody back in the day. That's what I've actually had a whole class once inside my VIP membership because this mom out of Mill Valley, California, her son and all their friends, they're pantsing each other constantly. And now they get in trouble at school because now you get sexual harassment in California. You pants somebody.
Oh my God.
So I try to help them understand this is power. So I want you to argue with me because I'm trying to convince you. These are all ways that young people feel powerful. These are all unhealthy ways to experience power. If somebody were to say to me, you know, Sean, you're a thrill seeker, dog. You love feeling powerful. I said, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I was like, do you feel, and they would ask me, hey, do you feel powerful in your house? I'd be like,
no.
Excuse me?
Right.
Do you feel powerful in your house? Why are you asking me that? I don't know. Now think about it. Do you act out in your own house? No. Why not? I don't know. I'd get in trouble. So see, I think what's going on here, man, is, dude, you're a powerful dude. You're a thrill seeker, and you are finding healthy and unhealthy ways of experiencing power. I'll be like, okay. Like, Sean, tell me some things you do that are healthy ways for you to experience power. I'd be like, I play basketball. I lift weights. I'll play football. Video games. Yeah. Now, video games can be a total example of how our young people are experiencing power in unhealthy ways. Do you agree?
Sure. 100%.
So what if somebody would have mentored me and emotion coached me on healthy ways I could experience power? I think I would have got it. It might have taken me a couple weeks or month, but aren't you with me? If somebody were to help me understand this.
I just think we're looking at this wrong. I mean, I think you were trying to get us back to the times of Adam and Eve before, we pricked the forbidden fruit. And so we were just running around naked. So you were pantsing people, say, hey, what do we need clothes for? You were just moving rocks from one place to the next. And there just happens to be a BART car in the way. Yeah. I mean, you don't really agree with capitalism. You think people should just be able to take what they want. So you were just taking things and like, hey, this is really no big deal. But so I do want to, I like your tip on this, and I like where you're going with it, but I just want to know if there's a fine line between, or I guess the question is, are all thrill seekers looking for power? And that's what thrill seeking is.
Everyone wants power. Everybody wants power. The kid
I want to go skydiving. I want power. I want to.
Everyone wants power. Everyone wants power, man. The kid who's coming home with A's and B's, they're finding power in their schoolwork. The kid who's wrecking it on the lacrosse field, the girl who's killing it at the volleyball. Like, if you've got a kid who's acting out in school or at home, look at it this way. This they're just grasping for power in unhealthy ways. How can I help them feel powerful around their sibling so they don't go and pick on their sibling? Just think of it this way. Like, ask you right now, like, tell me one thing that your kids are finding power in healthy ways, and one way that your kids are experiencing power and it's an unhealthy, weird way. You got anything that comes to mind for you and your 3 kids?
Yeah. I mean, you could say video games, right? That's obviously big. We do sports activities. So if, you get a medal, let's say you feel powerful, like you did something positive, good grades, they'll come back, and get good grades. The negative would be fighting with each other, just like children, do. They fight and they constantly are trying to figure out how to communicate wisely. Just to listen to you. Thankfully, my kids are never abusive in any way, where if one kid hits, the another one doesn't usually retaliate with another hit, which is nice from a parenting perspective. But I got to figure out how to stop it initially.
Yeah, well, I'm giving you some tips. Instead of talking to them about hitting or about this, to help them understand how the reason why this is happening is because they're feeling powerless.
Heard. Yeah, you're feeling powerless.
They're feeling unheard, powerless. And so they act out with power, and help them understand this is the normal part of life. And their job is to experience powerfulness in healthy ways and to express their powerlessness in healthy ways.
Yeah.
Let's ask the family coach, and I can do some role playing with you, or we can talk about that. This is a huge part of why I think my coaching in the one-on-one sessions or in my VIP membership, Jordan, is so life-changing. I even offer people a money-back guarantee in my membership. If you come to me and you tell me all your problems, we're going to solve those problems. If you don't love this experience, it doesn't totally work, well, send me an email and I'll give you your money back. I've been doing this for many years. Jordan, I've never had one parent ask for their money back.
Have you ever had a situation where you have a parent that uses their power in a negative way and you had to train the parent to cut back?
That's all of us. That's every single parent. I know it's all of
us, but like the hard ones.
All the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, it's this mix of, and even some parents, it's like they avoid and then they explode. So it's like they avoid, and so they're having a hard time stepping into the conflict, and then they explode, and now they're abusing their power in the conflict, and round and round we go. The cycle continues. I want to help you break those cycles.
So I want to kind of wrap up the episode here with a look back at the photograph of this kid, this teenager with this t-shirt.
Yes.
I hate my birthdays. Buddy. I hate my parents. I hate, what was the other thing he said? I hate my birthdays.
And I do drugs.
I hate my parents. Oh, and I do drugs. We see, let's say that's our child. We're like, oh my gosh, my child is going down this path. What do I need to do right now to start giving my child more power, or to let them believe they have more power? Or how do I start this conversation? Do I do what you said in the example of like setting him down or her down and saying, listen, I see this. I see this. I see this. You're wanting power. You're not getting it.
That's connection. So that's action step number 1. Realize that these are symptoms of disconnection.
Okay.
And so the action step would be, connect deeply with this child on a very deep level.
Okay. Yep. As often as you can, every day, check in.
Yes. Talk. Remember, this is a symptom of disconnection. Just like you were not eat food for a day, your body's going to ache. It's going to act out. You're going to start feeling differently. A child like this is pure disconnection. Even a child who's acting out in school is actually a symbol of parent disconnection, because the child's acting out because they're not thinking about the parents. And that's cool. That's why they're acting out. I know that's a stretch for some, but it's really not. Step 2 is, I'll just give you 3 steps as we wrap up, is something we've just echoed here before, is help emotion coach the child to help them understand that they need to find healthy ways of feeling powerful.
Yes.
And you're going to give them some coaching. You're going to give them examples. You're going to give them opportunities, right? The reason why there's so many kids in the inner city breaking the law and doing drugs, robbing people, is because they don't have healthy ways of feeling powerful. They don't have healthy adults looking at them and saying, I'm proud of you. You're powerful. You're good enough just the way they are. So they're acting out to try to feel powerful. They've got some of these kids, they may grow up in a nice home, but their dad is working all the time, and they don't have They don't have that connection. They don't feel like they're good enough. They don't feel like my dad tells me I'm proud of me. I don't feel powerful.
Okay.
Why do so many ADHD kids act out? Well, it's because they go to a school and they feel stupid. They don't connect. They don't feel powerful, and they don't feel powerful, and they want to find something to feel powerful. Makes sense, right?
It makes sense. Yeah.
And 3, here's action step number 3, something you've heard me say a lot. And if you want to go deeper with this, with joining my membership, here's action step. It's a tool that I don't want to spend much time on because I want to wrap up our show. It's called shared problem solving.
Oh, yes.
And essentially,
that's good.
It sounds like this. Hey, we've got a problem here,
Yes.
You like Sean. I'll pretend like I'm talking to a young Sean. Sean, you've got a problem here, buddy. You like mooning people, pulling people's pants down, throwing rocks, stealing from Mervyn's, peeing in the cat box, annoying your sister, playing with fire. But, we can't do this anymore. I can't allow it. I love you. Something's going on here, and it's affecting me. It's affecting our neighborhood. We've got to solve this problem together. I want to help you learn how to find healthy ways of feeling powerful. I want to be flexible. I'm open to changing how I treat you, how I parent you. I love you, son. We can't have it. We can't just having you go down this path anymore. I'm stepping in. We got to solve this as a family. What do you think we should do here? And we invite the powerful person into the solving of the problem, whether that person's 6 or 26. Very effective tool. You need that tool for your toolbox. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. And I'm thinking if little Sean would have answered older Sean with all right, let's figure this out. Or like, no, who are you? I'll do this on my own. But what I'm trying to lead with is maybe it's going to take time and multiple conversations, and it's going to take a while for this to happen.
It takes connection. It takes
connection.
Trust. Right. It takes time. I've got some clients, lots of clients I'm working through this right now, and it normally doesn't take that much time to solve this. And then you build trust around healthy choices. Jordan, I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for my past because of all that trouble that I caused. Now I can use those stories for good. I'm thankful for all the hardships in my life because now I can look back, and those hard times with my parents, with my wife, helped me to become the man that I am. So I'm thankful for the times that I'm going to go through in the future that are very hard. They're going to be heartbreaking. But I'm thankful for them already because I know they're shaping me and they're molding me as a parent, as a man. And I know that the way I parent these kids and my grandkids and my nieces and my nephews, I make an impact in the world. And so I'm thankful for these kids and for this history that I have.
That's good. We all need to take that approach. Life's happening for you and not to you. And you're taking these haunting memories and creating good out of them and helping people in the future. I'm thankful for the time I just had twins and I had no idea what the heck I was doing. And I prayed every single day for more patience because I had no power in that moment. I had no sleep in that moment. I kept crying and I just wanted to shake them until they stopped, which obviously I didn't do. But I'm so thankful that I finally have more patience and that I have a spouse that's teaching me how to have even more as they get older because there are more challenges now, and just continue to soften my heart and open up my mind to allow these kids, to have more power so that ultimately we can have a healthy relationship. I'm thankful for that.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You are a good parent. Oh my gosh, family life and parenting is so hard. I hope today gave you some tools and some inspiration. And if you're enjoying this podcast, then please do me a favor. Leave us a positive review on your podcast provider. And if you're hearing this and you're struggling as a parent, your family is struggling, or you need parenting tools for that one challenging, struggling kid, well, I will see you in a live Zoom call inside my VIP membership, and I will give you the specific tools you need to solve every problem you have and to stay strong, be close, and teach wisdom.